Hello YouTube, welcome back to Bison's Workshop. I'm Bob, and today we're going to go ahead and start tackling the tailgate and build it. Now I've got some ideas here, or an idea right now, and this idea could change according to what I have to work with. So as of now, I found these two pieces right here that have the same size hole in them that could be used with a bushing, a brass bushing. Now this is not the one, I'll have to make the bushings, but those will go in there, and basically the same principles I did on the roller on the big trailer I built. So I'm not going to use the whole bar. Basically I'm just going to cut out about that much of it, even amount on each inside of it, however I want to put it on here. Now I may go the whole length of this piece right here and have it so that it bolts to where the hole is right up here at the top, about middle ways between this screw and the top of this, so that when the tailgate's shut, the bottom of it goes up against the back side of this. So I would imagine that I would probably cut that right there and right there. So that much of it will be cut out, and I'll put some screw holes here and drive some long screws, and it'll go into the wood, help hold the wood at the same time that it's holding the hinge. So this is going to be the hinge, and I'll have a matching one on this side, and I want them to be removable in case I ever want to take the tailgate off. And then I'll make the bushing to go in on this side, so that when I put the tailgate up on this one, I can just slide all this and the bushing onto this one and screw it on. Alright. Then once I've got that part spam. So then I've got some of this stuff that I can cut a long piece to go into there, and then I'll just take and lathe the end of this to go inside the bushing. Alright, so we'll make this so that it spins in the hinge. That's going to be our first step. Alright, so then once we've got that done and we've got the roller rolling, it'll be a roller at that point, then we can start working on the frame. So then the next thing I'll do is take some of the square tubing like this, and imagine this is right there. So what we'll do is take and cut us some pieces however long we need from here to here, and that way this will be the side rails going up, and then we'll have one in the middle, maybe two. We might go two in the middle, depending on how I feel when it comes to welding, because that's more welding and more welding rod I got to use. I try to save as much as I can for later projects. So, you know, them welding rods and that welding wire, I can't afford the wire, so I'm going to have to do all this with a stick welder. It's $40 for a frickin' rolled wire for the MIG welder, so I've been out for a long time. But anyway, we'll take this and we'll cut that to where it will cradle this rod. So what I'll basically do is take this about halfway, draw me a mark over here around trace that pipe, and then I'll just cut that out, and then this here will rest up in it as a cradle, and then this piece here will be turned to fit in this, and then we'll weld this to this and then shape it. Alright, and then we'll have the end, both ends, and either the one or the two centers to go on, and then we'll have a U. Alright, then we'll take another piece of this and put on the top, and that will go somewhere like right there. And I don't know, we might go all the way to the edge of this to where the corner of this meets the corner of that, and just kind of, I don't know, maybe do a contour cut. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. I may go this route to the edge of this. See, I want to be able to use this pin, so I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. I may have to cut that clear off, because as you can see, this hole right here is awfully close to this, so that's not going to give me a whole lot of meat to work with. And remember, you have the thickness of this too, so that's going to take up some of that, so you're not going to have a whole lot of room. If you was going to put a hole here in this, it would be awfully close to the edge, and I'd kind of like for that hole to be out a little bit further. And I wish I'd have thought that through before I cut this down, because I actually cut that end down, or no, yeah, I cut that end down and then I trimmed this, when I should have trimmed this first, got this hole located, and then trimmed that side down. But, you know, we have to deal with a mistake now. So, I may have to, like I said, I may have to cut this off right here and just make me a bolt-on bracket to come out further, so I can have my hole out here a little bit further, because it's going to have a hook chain that hooks into that. But we'll see how this is going to work out. So we're going to have this, we're going to have this, we're going to have this, and then we're going to have some of this, which is probably going to be at least a piece of this in the center. This one's actually bent, so I don't think this one's going to be the one. Yep, this one's bent. So this one's going to be for the small pieces, because I can cut a short piece out and another short piece before I get to the bend, because the bend's right here. So I've got plenty of this stuff too. So there's our plan. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and make our hinge mounts. So I'm going to take them and cut them on the bandsaw and drill them and get them ready to put on here. Alright guys, we got our brackets made, one for each side, and now we'll go ahead and mount these. And what I did, I found 4 screws that were Torx heads, and these come from treadmill. So we'll go ahead and mount these. So now we need to make our bushing to go in this and figure out how long we're going to make this. So we're going to go about 1/4 inch through that. So let's get our tape measure. So we're just going to go, I think we're going to go 1/2 inch into that. So we're going to make down this rod that goes in here, 33.5. And if we need to cut down, we can cut down. That way I have something to work with. So that's what we're going to do, is cut it at 33.5. So we'll go ahead and cut a piece of this, 33.5. And the next thing we'll do is we'll meet at the lathe. Alright guys, we've made our bushings. And yes, neither one of them are exactly the same size, but they're close enough that it ain't going to hurt me at all. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that down so that this slides up on top of it. And there's going to be a slight little lip. It's almost the same size, and it doesn't really matter if it's the same size or not, because I'm going to thread the end of this. I'm going to drill it out, thread it, and put a bolt on it and a washer. And this end will keep that other end from pulling this or going that way, and the other one will keep it from going this way. So it'll always ride right there on the bushing. So that's what we're going to do, is cut this down to fit this bushing down to there, just a slight more, so that when I put the washer on it, this is free to spin. Alright guys, we've got this put on, and I may have to use a smaller washer on that. I don't know yet. I may have to make a washer that will slide. I don't know yet, but this ain't going to go either way, because that one keeps it from going this way, this one keeps it from going that way. So it's always going to be lined up on the bushing. I think part of the problem is this thing's kind of bent. All them rods are bent to a certain degree, but once we get the tailgate built on it, it'll be fine. Alright guys, here's the deal. Alright, we're going to use this square tubing, and we're going to put that there. We're going to put a piece across here, and we're going to make it so that it extends out to the edge of this piece right here. And this is also going to be our latch. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take and cut that to about a 45 right there, maybe. Whatever brings to right here. See, we're going to have to extend out, and we're probably just going to go all the way out to the edge. That way it'll give us something to work with, and then we'll cut it according. But we're planning on putting a hole in the top of this so that we can use it for our hook, and then that way when the tailgate's down, we can hook our chain here to hold the tailgate level, and we may even put a hook in it so that we can have it to where it's half. I don't know yet. That's just overthinking. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find a straight piece of this. This piece is not straight. It's bent right there. So we'll find us a straight piece. And the reason I want to use this square stuff is because I need something to attach my panel to. I want to put a panel on this on both sides. I want to start from the inside top and come down and then fold it around this and come up and do this side. So we'll have the panel on both sides, and that's why we're going to put 2 braces. So this is actually going to have a 4 brace tailgate. One piece here, one piece here, one piece here, one piece here. We're probably going to put it right in line with this right here, these 2. So we'll have one on the end, both ends, and one right here. So there's going to be some welding. We could actually put a brace here on every one of these, but I think that might be overkill because that stuff's not that thin. That refrigerator stuff, it's pretty heavy stuff. So we're going to get these pieces cut to length, and then when we're done, and let's imagine this is up there, the tailgate is, we've got this piece right here that will actually slide down over top of that. Alright, and then we also got this piece that will go down on it to allow something for beauty. This is off of a shower door, and the only thing I have to do is shave that little lip right there out of there. That's why I would say this one here would be the easier one to do, because it's just got a small lip, and we only need to go over one side of the panel, so we could put that on the back side right there, and I'm not too worried about the top being open like that, because it's going to be filled with a pop rivet there in the middle here and on the end. So that would be pretty cool. So this one's probably the one I want to use. So let's go ahead and get these cut and measured and cut. Measure twice, cut once. Remember, Matt? So till then. Alright guys, we got these pieces cut. These are going to be the uprights, and I wanted to show how I plan. Alright, this is the pin, or the hinge pin, basically, to mimic it. And what we need to do is cut that so that this rests down on it. So basically we're going to go through right there like that. So I was going to take the grinder and do that, but I have a better idea that's going to be more precise than that. So basically what we're going to do, that's a 7/8 pin. This thing here is a 7/8. The very top one is 7/8. So what I plan to do is I'm going to take two of these and I'm going to put them together just like that, and then I'm going to sandwich those just like that right there. But we're not going to use these. We're going to use old ones just in case it gets off. We're not cutting into the piece we're going to use. So then we're just going to drill right in the center of that and hope that works. So we're going to set up here and see if we can't get this to work. Alright, so what we've got this set up centered this way and centered this way. So we're going to try this. Now I've got this pretty tight. Now this I need to put another shim in that thing because my lead screw is getting sloppy. So but anyway, it's going to be close enough. So let's try this. Alright. So now we've got those like that. That will rest in there. And it's okay if we have to hit it. Basically all we need to do is just take a grinder and just kind of grind that edge off a little bit. But we really don't need to do that. We can just tap that down on there that far and this will spread just far enough to get that to seat. But that'll work. That's the best one I've done yet. So we got two more of these to do, and I'll meet you at the bench when we're ready to put this together. Alright, so here is the idea that we're going to make this tailgate. So this is all going to slide up in there and it's all going to clamp from here to here in 4 different spots. And we want to make sure this thing is square before we do this. Now keep in mind this pipe here, or this steel dowel, is crooked. It's bent. And I didn't realize it until after it was done. I should have checked that, but I don't see me getting that completely straight. So, and I'm not even going to try. So, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the straight part towards the back and the front. Actually, no. I need to find out which way this thing's bent. So once I find out which way it's bent, alright, that is the that's what we'll do. We'll put the bend, because bend is right here. Now right there's the bend. So we're going to put that straight up. So that by the time we clamp this, it'll pull it straight. That'll work. Alright, so we're just going to put this to the edge of this, and I'm not going to weld right here. I'm only going to weld on this side and right here on all 3 sides. This side I'll put a spot weld. I'm just going to spot weld these. I'm not going to do a big bead of weld across all of them. I'm just going to spot weld them. Alright, so now what I've done is I've put this in with this roll up. Alright, so actually it's down a little bit. So I'm going to spin it. Alright, so now I've got the roll all the way up. Alright, so now I've pressed this one in and I've squared it. We can't really go by that. We have to go by this up here. So this is square. If this is square, by the time we're done, this will be square. So now we'll go over here and put this one in. Alright. Now if you notice, up here I've got a shim in this. And the reason for that shim is to make sure that this is going to fold up. Now, once we take this out, the pressure of this is probably going to go up a little bit. Not much, but that's to allow clearance in here. Now we're probably going to have to cut this piece here off, like I said before, and make a new ear to put on there. I really didn't want to do that, but I may have to. And if I do make one, I'm going to make a different kind, one that comes all the way out here, and then just cut this at a 45. Or something. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But right now, if all this was welded together, this would hinge up and down. We'll deal with that problem later. We just want to get a square tailgate, and I'm curious here if this is square, and it is. That one's square. That one's square. And that one's square. That's square. 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 And square. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take a clamp and put here to here, and then another one from here to here. The reason I want to put it in the center of this and the center of this is because that will push down on this one and that one. This one will push down on this one and this one, and those will stay tight. So once I've got it clamped, it's a good possibility that I can take this out, but I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to weld it right where it's at, or at least spot weld it right where it's at. Once I've got it spot welded, then I should have cleaned this up before I started. Daggone it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get our clamps and clamp here and get that tight. So we're going to go ahead and clamp it, but I'm going to stop this video right here, and we're going to make the tailgate in two parts. This is going to be a long video because I've already got 20 minutes worth already in the editor that's already edited, and I wanted to add a little bit more to it, so we're just going to do this part and put that as part 1, tailgate. Well, this is actually part 14, and we'll call it 1 of 2 tailgate, something like that. So, but this is, you got the idea of what we're going to do here, and then I'll take that textured refrigerator panel, and that will be what we coat this with. This is going to be a nice looking tailgate. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and if you want to help the shop and contribute, it helps me to put more content out for you guys, I guarantee it. So if you want to do that, you can do that through PayPal at bisonworkshop@gmail.com. Thank you very much for watching. You guys have a good one. Later.